Hey guys, Ross Christofoli here, and in this video I am going to explain how to become successful with outbound callers in your sales. Now, we have a program, it's called Rent-A-Caller, so we are helping agencies get tons of appointments every single week with our Rent-A-Caller program. I'll put a link down there below so you can see it. But what I think is crazy is how many people come in thinking that outbound sales is just going to be a walk in the park. They're going to do it and bada bing, bada boom, they're going to close it. And so I'm going to make this video. I did one of these before actually in like October, but I was outside of our RV. We were somewhere up north and it was real dark, so I wanted to do one where it's a little bit well lit, and I have the whiteboard here. If you think about cold calling, even though cold email and all that stuff would fit for some of this, so you should still listen up. I'm talking in this directly about cold callers. If you think about cold callers, there's really two kinds of agency owners that use cold callers. Those who are landing clients with cold callers, and those who are going to be firing them soon because they can't seem to land any appointments. The problem is that most agency owners, they don't want to sell, and so what they'll do is they'll hire a closer, which is fine, but that closer is only used to inbound appointments. They start throwing outbound appointments at him and expect him just to adapt with no training or no understanding of how this works. He fumbles around, blames the lead, says no one shows up, I have a bad show rate. The people who do shows, they think that I'm a client, they don't think I'm a marketing person, and they get kind of gripey. And so I'm going to go through some of the ways that we deal with that stuff in our programs, and also how we deal with that in my own agency to make sure that we're doing a good job with that. A cold caller has one very simple task in my mind. I know that it takes 100 phone calls to get 2 to 3 good appointments. And I shouldn't even say good appointments, just 2 to 3 appointments. It's a 2 to 3% conversion rate. That's an average stat. Go look it up. That's an average stat to appointment. Now, I know that from these 2 to 3 appointments, we're going to add an average close anywhere between 8 and 18% of those over the course of 90 days. That's just how it works, depending on the closer. That's really what it's going to be. And I'm okay with all these stats because you can be very profitable with those numbers if you at least know your numbers. But because of this, I know that if they're setting 2 to 3 appointments, let's just go with 2 for simple math because I like even numbers. If we go with 2 and say they do 2 a day, so they get 10 per week, and you do this all month long, you now have 40 appointments per month. But how many do you think are going to show up on outbound? Roughly half of them, so 50%. So that means that you are going to have about 20 actual appointments to get on. Now, out of those 20 appointments, some of those people are going to think that you were the client. Some of those people are going to be angry. Some of those people aren't going to remember you. They're not going to know who you are, and I'm going to give you some tips on how you can overcome some of that. But even still, out of that, a good closer from those 20 are probably going to get 2 to 3 clients. Now, you might think to yourself, boy, that is a grind. 40 appointments up here, 20 appointments to get on 2 to 3 clients. Yeah, it is, but it's very scalable. We can predictably do this, so it works really well. But it's also something that you have to learn how to have the right mindset on. If we go back to this, if I know that their job is simply to narrow down the playing field, I don't want to make 100 calls. I did it for the first 8 months to a year of my agency. It was only me. That's all I did was just hammer the phone. I don't want to make 100 calls. I'd rather hop on the 2 to 3 that I actually had a shot with and go ahead and close them, or try to attempt to close them. And I'm okay with rejection. If someone doesn't want to talk to me, whatever, that's fine. But that's just my structure on this. So let's just go over a few things that will help you to be able to be successful with the Rent-A-Caller program and with the outbound selling. Thing number 1 is make sure that on your intake form, on your calendar form, that you have a thing that asks who they spoke with. So that's going to be one of the first things, that you need to know who they spoke with. And the reason for that is because your caller is going to try to work with the gatekeeper, or try to get past the gatekeeper to get to the decision maker. But in many cases, the decision maker is busy. And as the owner, would you rather have a chance to talk to the decision maker or have no chance? Because I see agency owners who will go, if you don't get their email and you don't get their mobile phone and you don't get, it's just the decision maker, then don't put it on there. Why? Do you suck? Are you not good at closing sales? Do you not know how to? So you expect this an appointment setter to be able to do something that you can't do? No, that's because you have a fear of rejection. And if you have closers who are like that, or if you're like that, then you're in the wrong business, because it means you suck at outbound sales. Go do YouTube ads, go do Facebook ads. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that, but it's easy to close inbound sales. It takes somebody with real grit, a real salesperson, to close outbound. So you're going to have to put on your big boy pants, if you will, and you'll have to do a little investigating here and there. So what you do is you have to get the gatekeeper's name, and you call on your appointment and you say to them, hey, my name's so-and-so, I have a 3 o'clock with blah, 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 blah. I don't see it on here, but well, I spoke with so-and-so, and they're the one, my assistant spoke with so-and-so, and they actually set up that appointment with so-and-so at this time. Do you guys not keep record of your appointments? Well, so you try to get them on their toes a little bit. Is he available? Well, let me go see if he's available. Okay, and then he'll pull them on. Now, he might get on, he might have no clue what's even going on. Keep in mind, you've probably had follow-up sequences, but who knows if he even read any of them. So this person, the decision maker, gets on, and now guess what you are pretty much doing at this point? You're doing exactly what the cold caller did on call number 1. The difference is now you're speaking to the decision maker. And you need to be okay with that. As a closer, you should be better at it than your appointment setter was. So you might think, well, why didn't I just call them in the first place? Well, you could, but you're going to need to get through about 97 to 98 calls to be able to get to those 2 to 3. So you tell me which one's easier. In my opinion, it's much better to go this route. So my point here is that you have to be willing to play investigator, to understand what you're getting into. And if you do, and you get good at them, you're going to get good at closing. Now, one of the things that I want to bring up as well is that what you say in the beginning is going to be important. And I'm not going to go through all of that because we teach that here in our program. But and everybody's offer is going to be a little bit different. But like your first couple sentences is going to be very, very important for you to be able to know that stuff. So hopefully this all makes sense to you guys. We find, just so you know, that the best ratio is 4 callers to every 1 closer. That'll give you a sufficient amount of appointments on a monthly basis. Now, if you'd be interested in having us help you build out a system, train you guys on how to do the calling. In fact, not only do we help you do the closing, like help you on the call or get through your calls, train you through them, we'll listen to them, we transcribe them, and we do a one-on-one coaching session where we show you where you could have closed them, where things went wrong. It's very, very intuitive. And also, we also have our closers that we will close appointments for people in our program at a commission rate. So if you'd like to get access to this, just click the link down below and apply for our program. I think you'd really like it. Hopefully this has helped you. Otherwise, if you think you're good at outbound selling and you just want to try getting some callers and getting some appointments, I'll put our Rent-A-Caller link down below. Have a good day.